Hi, so first of all, I'm gonna provide some advice for what I think is the hardest part of this whole process, which is picking colors. Looking at a big collection of colors, it's hard to see what would look well together on a necklace. And as you can see, I have a palette that really has the whole rainbow. So what I firstly did was group colors that I like together once I had them all out. And then from those groupings, made beads into necklaces. So it's really up to your personal preference. If you like pastels and more millennial colors, I would recommend getting a palette that matches those colors already, but that's just what I had to work with, so I went for a more funky 80s color tone. So here are some necklaces that I've made for inspiration. If you just don't know how to pair colors, this is what I did. So for some of them, I did a monotone color palette. So as you can see, these are all purples. I think it looks really good as a kind of big statement piece. I also paired oranges, golds, and blues. As blues and oranges are opposite colors on the color spectrum, I thought it would look good. And then for this is kind of like a rainbow, kind of gold, orange, pink, purple. So that's kind of a rainbow-like color spectrum. Again, as you can see, I paired blues, golds, and yellows. This is a marbled bead, which I'll show you in one of the subsequent videos. And what I liked about that is it kind of is a less harsh color to go along with harsher colors. And as you can see, again, I paired blues and purples. So I decided not to use all the colors in this palette just because some of the colors I like more than others. But it's really up to you what colors you like wearing, what colors you like working with. But yeah, so first of all, I would always recommend pairing color groups that you like to go together and then working with necklaces based on those. Yeah. So next I'm going to teach you how to do various shapes with your clay. It's really up to you what shapes you want to make, and feel free to be as creative as you want and make way more interesting shapes than I'm teaching you, but I just want to show you some basic shapes so you can use them for your necklaces if you like them. So first I'm going to teach you a disc. So pretty self-explanatory. I usually always start by rolling it into a ball, and then from a ball, making a shape out of that. So now it's pretty ball-like, as you can see, and what I just do is crush it into making it a disc. And I have this little helpful rolling pin-like thing. You can actually use a regular baking rolling pin, or you can buy one of these. It comes with a bunch of tools that you can get at Michael's or Amazon or anywhere like that. So I roll it out next, and there you go. Makes it into a little disc. And see, as you can see, I made it more of an oval disc. So you really can make it however you want. It all depends on how you roll it, how you make it into your hand. And then what you do is you poke a hole through it to make it into a bead. I have this little tool that's helpful, but another really good tool is just a toothpick or whatever you have. So as you can see, poke a nice little hole in there, kind of fix up the edges a little bit, and there you go. I have a little funky oval disc thing. So next I'll show you a cylinder. So again, I'm gonna roll it into a ball. And these shapes can be however big or small as you want. I'm making them pretty basic medium size, but all of these can be bigger or smaller based on your preference. So now I'm kind of rolling it into more of an oval stitch, and then I'm going to flatten the edges like so and roll it out with my rolling pin again to make it all even. There you have it, nice cylinder. Again, poke a hole through it, right in the middle. It may distort the shape a little bit once you poke a hole through these. So again, I just fix it up and roll it. Another way I like to do cylinders is poke a hole through the other side. So you can also poke a hole through the side right here, and then it kind of lays like this instead of this. So it's up to your preference. I would recommend trying both and see what you like. There you go, cylinder. All right, now I'm gonna show you classic ball. Very self-explanatory. You just make into a ball. There, and I kind of like it a little imperfect. I think it looks a little more handmade like that. And another thing that's kind of fun to do with these is you can always flatten it however you want. You know, now it's similar to an oval, similar to a circle, however you want. I kind of like making funky shapes, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Poke a hole. There you go. And then I'm gonna show you a square next. Again, I actually start with the circle for this one too, even if you can cut a perfect square. I just like always starting with a circle. As you can see, a little circle. And then I have another side of this tool, which is really helpful, but you can really use any tool that's flat to kind of flatten the edges evenly. I like doing this with a tool more than my hands, just because your hands are naturally not flat. So. There you go. And again, poke a hole where you want it to be. Make some fixes. There you go. And then you can do that same thing, but also a rectangle. And so in that case, I would probably make a circle or oval, and then but a little more wide as such, and then make it flat. And I really like varying the sizes. I'm teaching you very medium-sized shapes, but what I think always looks best is having a wide range of sizes of these shapes. I'll even show you how to make a little mini disc, because those are some of my favorites to add to necklaces. There you go. And I'll show you how to make a hole through the side instead of through the longer parts. Like here. There you go. You can always flatten it, make it more rectangular. And then I'm going to show you lastly a kind of mini disc. Little mini ball. Flatten. There you go. Super easy. So yeah, here you have it. We have a bunch of really cool mismatch shaped, and what I'm actually gonna do with this is make one big monochrome necklace. So that's always an idea if you just wanna mix up the shapes and then keep this color the same. That's a really fun way to do it. So yeah, have at it. All right, so next I'm gonna teach you how to marble clay together. I like to do a really harsh color with white or black or another neutral. I find it's a way to make a really harsh color less harsh, if that's what you like. I took about equal parts of each color. You can kind of play with having one color more than the other if you want that to be the primary color in the marble. And what I kind of do is break it up into little pieces. This, a bunch of bits, and then I just roll it up. You can see it looks like this. You can kind of do it like Laffy Taffy, where you pull it and bring it together. Another way to kind of combine colors for one bead is by choosing little specks and putting them on and just compressing, but what this will do is kind of make the color lighter in general, and you can stop whenever you want. Like you could stop here, or if you keep going, it would at the last point be about all this color. So if you want to make a color of your own and you don't have a shade that you like, then you can do that too. So I'm gonna stop around here because I kind of like this marble state that it's in. And then I'm gonna just take them into bits and make them to beads right here. So from here, you can just make a shape how I taught you, however you would like, and just use it as you would normal clay. And as you can see, as you continue to shape, it will continue the marbling together. So I would stop right at the point before you want it to look how you want it to look, because it's gonna automatically continue to marble as you go on. So yeah, have at it. So once you're ready for the baking step of the process, I'm gonna give you some advice for how to stage your pieces onto your baking sheet, as well as how to ensure even baking for all your pieces. So obviously your beads are gonna be in different shapes and sizes and thicknesses. So how I did was group it by size, and then as you bake, you can take out one set of beads and leave the rest to continue baking. So you have to bake for 15 minutes per 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters of thickness of your clay. I have all those instructions below in the step-by-step instructions part. But yeah, so how I placed it was by thickness. So as you can see, the thin ones are here, kind of the medium ones are here, and then the thickest ones are together as well. And if you want to be perfect about it, you can even use a ruler and kind of measure how thick your small, medium, and larges are on average. So I would say this is about a little less than 1/4 inch. So for the thinnest ones, I would check a few minutes before 15 minutes and feel them and see how hard they are. They do harden outside of the baking process, so even if they feel not perfectly hardened, it's better to go on the less baked sides than the more, because you can also always put it back in the oven, but you just don't want to overbake them. So I would check the first group after about 12 minutes or so. Then if it's about double in size from the first group, I would put it in for about another 15 minutes and then another 15 minutes. But it's always relative and not every bead is exactly the same size. So I would just keep checking and kind of leave the next 40 minutes available so you can really ensure that each bead is getting proper baking. So yeah, once it's in and baking, just kind of keep a timer going and see how it goes. So lastly, really quick, I'd just like to give some advice for how to assemble your beads onto your necklace. As you can see, I just used a black cotton thread. I use black for all my necklaces because I think it looks the most sophisticated, but it's really up to you, whatever color you like, whatever type of string you like. As you can see, I'm gonna do a monochrome red necklace. My strategy is I usually start with the biggest piece because that's gonna be the most bold, and I also usually put it somewhere in the middle just so it's the most symmetrical. You start with the big kind of going out, you get smaller. In this case, it's this bead, and as well as this one is also pretty big, so I probably would do them next to each other. I do like it kind of funky though. I don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical. But if you do, you can make beads exactly the same looking for both sides from the middle. It's really up to you. So as you can see, I just kind of place it on the table right here, and then once I do it, I string them on. See, I would probably want to vary in this case a little more from height and width and shape. Maybe like this, you know. There you go. See, I actually pretty like that one because it's funky enough that it's not perfectly symmetrical, but also it has enough even ups and downs so that it looks interesting. Yeah, so it's really up to you, but I just like to give some advice for how to incorporate symmetry and asymmetry onto your necklace. So I'd just like to give you a final look at the finished product. I hope you have a really fun time making these, and thank you for watching.